He was the city's quietest cab driver, never spoke, never asked questions, just did his job, until a young cop recognized him. Because that voice on the radio revealed who he really was and exposed a terrifying truth. But the most shocking part was who had been watching them that night. It was 11:47 p.m., and Detective Mike Rodriguez's heart was still racing. The drug bust he'd just finished had gone very differently than expected. What should have been a routine raid turned into an ambush. The cartel was waiting for them. Someone had leaked information. When he called for a cab on Michigan Avenue, the car that arrived looked familiar. Yellow Crown Victoria, silent driver. Robert Miller. Mike had seen this man at least 20 times, but they'd never spoken. Wicker Park, North Avenue, Mike said as he got in. The engine sounded strange, more powerful than normal, modified. But he didn't think much of it. Robert just nodded and started driving. But this time he took a different route. Instead of Rush Street, he headed toward quieter side streets. Mike was busy with his phone and didn't notice it first. The radio was on. WGN News, traffic report, then classic rock. But something caught Mike's attention. Strange lights in the mirror. A car was following them. Black SUV. Too close for comfort. "Hey," Mike said to the driver. "I think someone's behind us." Robert glanced in the mirror, furrowed his brow. "Yes," he said simply. It was the first time he'd spoken. Mike was surprised. This man never talked. "Yes? That's it?" Instead of answering, Robert made a sudden maneuver. Right turn, acceleration, then left again. The black SUV was still there. "What's going on here?" Mike asked, his heart starting to pound. Robert's voice was calm but tense. "I think they're following you." Mike was confused. "Following me? Who could it be?" "I don't know, but they're professionals," Robert said, making a sharp U-turn. "Is your radio on?" Mike checked his police radio. It was on. "Yeah, why?" "Turn it off." "Why would I turn it off?" Robert's voice came out harsh. First time he'd raised his voice. Mike turned off the radio. That's when strange sounds started coming from Robert's radio. Static, then unclear frequencies. Target acquired on north side. Police unit compromised. Take him alive. Need information. Mike froze. Are they talking about me?" Robert turned up the radio volume. "Listen, cabbie might be a problem. Check license plate 77 Delta. That was this taxi's plate." Mike looked back. The black SUV was still there, now joined by another one. "God, are they trying to kill me?" Mike asked. Robert looked at him, and Mike saw the coldness in his eyes for the first time. Not yet, but soon. Sudden break. Robert pulled the car right, hiding behind a gas station. The engine was still running. "Who are you?" Mike asked, breathless. Robert rolled up his left sleeve. There was a faded tattoo. The shape of a Green Beret badge with Special Forces written below. 27 years in Special Forces, Robert said quietly. "And I think tonight I'm back on duty." "Green Berets?" Mike asked in shock. "Afghanistan, Iraq, and places you don't know about," Robert said, checking his mirror. "Now the real question is, who are you and why are they after you?" Mike thought, tonight's operation, someone had leaked the information. The cartel was waiting for us. Which cartel? Rivera Cartel. But I didn't think they could infiltrate Chicago Police Department. Robert laughed bitterly. "Son, they can infiltrate anywhere. I learned that in Afghanistan." Sounds came from the radio again. Unit 1, position report. "Gas station, Western Avenue. Move in, but keep it quiet." "They're coming," Robert said. "Now tell me the truth. What did you find in that operation?" Mike hesitated. It wasn't drugs, it was arms trafficking. But not just weapons, military equipment. Very advanced stuff. Robert's face changed. What kind of military equipment? Night vision goggles, encrypted radio systems, and something else. What? Plastic explosives. C4. Large quantities. Robert cursed. "Jesus, they're not just cartel." "What do you mean?" "Terrorist cell," Robert said. "And you discovered their plan." 2 SUVs approached the gas station. Robert started the engine. "Hold on," he said, and hit the gas. The taxi shot out of the gas station. The vehicles behind immediately gave chase. Robert knew the city very well. Every shortcut, every alley, every escape route. Where are we going? Mike asked. Federal Plaza, FBI building. That's 15 minutes away. Then we need to stay alive for 15 minutes. Sounds continued from the radio. He's heading downtown. Cut him off at Lakeshore Drive. Authority to use force approved. Robert made a sharp right, entering Lower Wacker Drive, underground road, perfect escape route, but the SUVs were still behind them. Who are these guys? Mike asked. A parallel organization working with Rivera Cartel, Robert said. I've seen similar ones in Afghanistan. Very well financed, very well equipped. How do you know? Because those radio codes, I recognize them. These are my old unit's codes. Mike was shocked. What? They're using our old radio frequencies. So either we have former guys among them or what? Or this is much bigger than we thought. Just then, a completely different voice came over the radio. Robert Miller, this is Command Center. Robert froze. What? Robert Miller, you are being given Bravo 67 code. Immediate extraction requested. Mike didn't understand. What's happening? Robert took the radio. This is Bravo 67. Who are you? Master Sergeant Johnson, Pentagon Special Operations. You are still active duty, soldier. I'm retired. No, you're not. You're deep cover. You've been monitoring Chicago for 15 years. Mike was confused. What are they talking about? Robert's face changed. Suddenly, he seemed to be remembering everything. God, I'm not really retired. What? I'm a sleeper agent. Pentagon sent me here to monitor Rivera Cartel. But my memory was wiped until tonight. Johnson continued on the radio. Miller, the police officer with you has critical information. You need to transport him to the safe zone. Which safe zone? Navy Pier. Our team is waiting there. Mike was in shock. You've been watching me for 15 years? No, Robert said. I was watching the cartel. But now I understand. What you discovered tonight was the final piece of their plan. What plan? The answer came over the radio. Attack on Federal Building tomorrow at 2:00 p.m. With 500 kilos of C4, the SUVs were still behind them. But now Robert was driving differently. His military training had returned. Every move was calculated. Every turn was perfect. How do we get to Navy Pier? Mike asked. Secret route. I haven't just been driving a taxi in this city for 15 years. I was also learning security lines. They got onto Lakeshore Drive. SUVs behind them, but now helicopter sounds could be heard too. Ours or theirs? Mike asked. We'll find out soon enough. When they arrived at Navy Pier, a surprise was waiting. A 12-man Green Beret team, all armed, all ready. Miller, shouted the team leader. Welcome back, soldier. Robert got out of the car. Suddenly his posture had changed. No longer a cabbie, but a soldier. Sir, yes sir. Mike got out too. Is this real? The team leader smiled. Of course it's real. Robert Miller has been this city's invisible guardian for 15 years. And tonight, thanks to him, we saved 500 innocent lives. The SUVs came, but the Green Beret team was ready. A brief firefight, then surrender. Cartel members were captured. The next morning, when Mike went to work, everything had changed. Robert Miller was no longer just a taxi driver. He was America's secret hero. So what happens now? Mike asked. Robert smiled. I'll keep driving taxi, but this time I know who I am. And me? You'll keep living in the city you helped save. Mike shook Robert's hand. Thank you, Robert said. This was the moment I'd been waiting for 15 years. And so, Chicago's quietest taxi driver learned he was actually the city's greatest hero. Sometimes, real heroes don't wear uniforms, they hold steering wheels. No one knew who he was. But now everyone was safe, and that was enough for him.